Jessamy Hibberd, The Imposter Cure, How to Stop Feeling Like a Fraud and Escape the Mind Trap of Imposter Syndrome. The Imposter Cure by Jessamy Hibberd delves into the world of imposter syndrome, a feeling of inadequacy and self-doubt experienced by many individuals in various aspects of their lives. This book summary explores the emergence of imposter syndrome, the different types of individuals affected by it, and the coping mechanisms employed to deal with it. Grounded in the expertise of Dr. Valerie Young and her research on imposter syndrome, readers will delve into the world of perfectionists, natural geniuses, soloists, experts, and superwomen/men. Get ready to learn how to recognize and overcome your imposter syndrome while paving the way for positive changes in your life.
Understanding imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome occurs when beliefs and expectations collide. The feeling of being a fraud is common among people with the syndrome, leading to guilt, self-doubt, and poor performance. Dr. Valerie Young's research on the syndrome identifies 5 character traits: perfectionists, natural geniuses, soloists, experts, and superwomen/supermen. By recognizing these traits and understanding how they manifest, one can start to overcome imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome debunked. Have you ever felt like a fraud despite achieving great success? You might be suffering from the imposter syndrome. This psychological phenomenon has a lot to do with how we interpret our discomfort and self-perception. Poppy, a successful author, fell prey to this syndrome, misinterpreting her fears as signs of incompetence. The problem with imposter syndrome is that it can distort our reasoning, making it hard to recognize our achievements. However, recognizing that our thoughts aren't always accurate is a big step in overcoming this syndrome. Making a list of all the things we have accomplished, no matter how small, is one way to dispel our false beliefs. By using this technique, we can call our negative self-perceptions into question and correct our confirmation bias. Rethinking coping strategies. The book discusses the problem of imposter syndrome and the coping strategies that people use to deal with stress. While these strategies may provide temporary relief, they stop individuals from improving their self-image, which ultimately exacerbates the problem of imposter syndrome. The book encourages individuals to rethink their coping strategies and change how they see themselves. Through the story of William, a lawyer who falls into a never-ending cycle of overworking and sacrificing his health and relationships for the sake of his job, the book highlights the importance of managing tendencies, setting boundaries, and redefining success. The book emphasizes the need for individuals to check in with themselves periodically and be kinder to themselves. By doing so, individuals can make positive changes and achieve their goals in life. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with compassion and eliminate negative self-talk to unlock your true potential. Overcoming imposter syndrome and self-criticism starts with recognizing your abilities and talking to yourself as your biggest fan. Do you struggle with being too hard on yourself? Do you ever feel like an imposter, like you don't deserve your accomplishments? You're not alone. It's easy to fall into the trap of being your own biggest critic, but this negative self-talk can hold you back. To achieve your goals, you need to be kind to yourself and have faith in your abilities. Criticism can be helpful, but if you constantly belittle yourself, it can kill your inspiration and motivation. Self-compassion means recognizing your pain and taking steps to relieve it. You don't need to strive for an unrealistic standard. Instead, focus on accepting yourself and improving your self-storytelling. It's also essential to understand that the imposter's voice comes from your fears and not your own thoughts. When negative thoughts arise, consider the evidence and challenge them. If you struggle with challenging your thoughts, recognize them as the imposter's voice, transform them into a silly voice, and ignore them. You can also alleviate imposter syndrome by talking to someone you trust about how you're feeling. Expressing your emotions can help you feel better about yourself and manage the imposter syndrome more effectively. Remember, your inner voice should be your biggest fan, not your harshest critic. Be compassionate toward yourself and embrace your abilities to unlock your full potential. The Perfectionism Trap. Matilda's love for theater turned into a nightmare when she could no longer cope with the pressure of being perfect. Perfectionism can create insecurities, leading to overwork or avoidance. It's a self-defeating habit because it's impossible to achieve. Setting high standards will only lead to failure. Instead, focus on a few key areas and accept your limitations. Perfectionism is not worth risking your health. Prioritize yourself for a balanced life. An insightful guide on reclaiming life by setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care. Time is a precious commodity that requires proper use to ensure a fulfilling life. To make the most of it, people need to stop overworking and choose a sustainable path. The first step towards reclaiming life is by reassessing habits and dealing with overwork and avoidance. It's necessary to set boundaries, prioritize self-care, delegate, and practice saying no. Over-reliance on one's strength leads to failure and frustration. The concept of perfectionism is a myth, and aiming at 80% instead of 100% is okay. Self-care doesn't equate to laziness, instead, it improves performance. Appreciating life's good things requires slowing down, being thankful, and making time to enjoy them. Prioritizing oneself is essential for a balanced life, productivity, and the ability to overcome challenges.
Jessamy Hibberd's The Imposter Cure offers valuable insights into what imposter syndrome is, how it affects people, and ways to overcome it. By understanding the different character types and identifying your own, you can challenge your negative beliefs and make healthy adjustments in your life. This book teaches the importance of self-compassion, reevaluating perfectionism, and finding balance in work and life. Conquer your imposter syndrome by engaging in honest self-assessment, seeking support from others, and being kinder to yourself. Allow yourself to enjoy life to the fullest and confidently take on new challenges without always feeling like a fraud.